Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Arab American leaders calling on the Wall Street Journal to retract the controversial opinion piece about Dearborn. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Kimberly Gill.
And I'm Pamela Osborne, in for Devin Skillian. That article called it America's jihad capital. Over the weekend, in response, Dearborn's mayor called for an increase of patrols in the city, specifically around places of worship. Will Jones is live in Dearborn for us tonight with the latest on the fallout from this article. Will.
Pamela and Kimberly, the Arab American Civil Rights League held a press conference this afternoon near Dearborn Police Station because they say that article is putting this community in danger. Meanwhile, the author of the article is standing by what he wrote. Arab American leaders continue to push back on the Wall Street Journal opinion article by Stephen Stalinsky labeling Dearborn America's jihad capital. The article, published as the Israel-Hamas war continues.
How dare the chicken hawks like Stephen Stalinsky call us jihadists, because we have raised our voices of dissent against war.
The opinion piece has been panned by Dearborn Mayor Abdullah Hamid, Governor Whitmer, and President Biden.
We're asking that the Wall Street Journal take an immediate retraction, apologize to not only this community, but to all its readers.
Inflammatory rhetoric like this is a direct contributor to the wave of Islamophobic violence our community has had to endure.
Stalinsky, who is the executive director of the Middle East Media Research Institute, is doubling down on the themes in his article, telling Local 4 in part, "The main point of my article is that it is a fact that there is support inside Dearborn, out in the open, in marches in front of the community center and in major mosques of the October 7th attack of Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, and other prominent jihadis." The mayor of Dearborn was not at this press conference this afternoon. We reached out to his office for comment for an on-camera interview today, and we have not heard back just yet. We are live in Dearborn tonight. Will Jones, Local 4.
All right, Will, thank you. Our other top story tonight, the fate of Jennifer Crumbley still in the hands of the jury. Jurors spent about 7 hours deliberating today, but they were unable to reach a verdict.
Even with a day full of mostly waiting, there was still some developments in the courtroom. Sean Lay is live in Oakland County. Sean, jurors asked the judge 2 questions. Talk about what those questions were.
Truly, there was a lot going on today, even though there's no verdict. So let's get everyone, Kimberly and Pam, up to speed right now. The first question came in right away to the judge. The jury is asking, can they interpret involuntary manslaughter, and that's what they're trying to decide here with Jennifer Crumbley, in different ways? The judge said, absolutely, you can, based on the evidence presented to you. I was in the courtroom around 1 o'clock today. The judge actually brought the jury in. They had a very important question asking, can we look at evidence or things that were not presented to us in evidence, specifically asking, should they put any stock into the fact that prosecutors didn't call the shooter to the stand? The Judge Matthews, said absolutely not. You can only go in there and deliberate and look at the evidence that was presented to you. Guys, I spoke with Vonda Evans. She spent 22 years on the bench at Circuit Court in Wayne County. She tells me that what that last question the jurors asked tells her is that they are looking for, like a lot of juries do, guilty or not guilty beyond any doubt. They'll ask about something not in evidence, meaning they don't want to make any mistakes at this point. It's beyond a reasonable doubt. That's what the judge instructed them. Their job is to not be 100% sure, but it's commendable, the judge says, but it's not their job. They certainly just have to go to a reasonable doubt as they've been instructed and not consider anything that wasn't in evidence. Another important point here, the judge at 4:45 releasing this jury saying, come on back at 9:30, get some rest. Jury said, hang on, we can come back at 9 a.m. We want to get right to it in the morning. The judge told them maybe sleeping on it will help them reach a verdict tomorrow. Back to you.
And Sean, what does that mean about how the jury is weighing everything at this point?
Yeah, Judge Evans says they're weighing everything. They're extremely alert. I was in the courtroom. They were taking notes. There's so much evidence presented to them over the 7-day trial, so much testimony, and then said they're taking what Judge Evans is interpreting this is they're taking it extremely serious and probably take more deliberations tomorrow, maybe not a quick verdict at all.
Okay. Sean, we appreciate it so much, and we will continue to have special coverage of the trial, including reaction to the verdict, as soon as it comes in on Local 4 Plus, and click on Detroit.com. If you don't have Local 4 Plus, you can find it on your smart TV home screen.
Detroit police provided an update on a fatal shooting that happened on Detroit's west side Saturday night. Police say a store clerk was taking out trash when he noticed several people breaking into his car. When he tried to stop them, he was shot and killed. Police are releasing these images of the stolen car. You can see that front bumper is missing. Investigators say there are 4 suspects. Police think at least a few of them are teenagers. If you have any information about the suspects or that car, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP. Tonight, Help Me Hank is coming to the rescue, getting action, I should say, to help fix the road riddled with potholes, which we see a lot of this time of year.
Exactly right. So many communities have the same problem. Many living in Belleville, though, calling Hank desperate for help. And tonight, things have improved dramatically. Hank is live in Belleville tonight with more. Hey, Hank.
And Kimberly, Pamela, this road was a mess. It's just a few miles from this location. We're here in Belleville at the location of our Help Me Hank meetup we had a little bit earlier. But in the last few weeks, I've heard from so many people in this community complaining about a stretch of roadway. When I saw it, I knew we had to get something done.
Yep, this is what I've been driving through, waiting for them to grade.
Take a look. This viewer video sent to Help Me Hank shows you the obvious problem. This road riddled with potholes. It is a mess and a big danger. Just ask Andy Reed. What was the road like?
The road, oh my God. A small car would fall through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a small car would fall right in these holes. It was so bad, it took me 10 minutes just to get to the corner.
Andy called me complaining about the road here in Belleville, hoping that we would be able to come to the rescue and take a look. Early this morning, a crew out here bringing in dirt, a grader, the work being done to make this road as smooth as it can be right now.
They've been out here since like 8:30 this morning, and they just stopped at 2 o'clock.
Good.
Yeah, so it's like, I couldn't believe they stayed out this long.
Holly has lived out here for years, and she tells me she was starting to worry that the road was starting to damage her vehicle. Well, now she doesn't have to worry anymore.
We were really shocked when they were here at 8:30 when we left.
Yeah, and they were here for a while. I mean, they did a lot of work.
Almost 5 hours.
It looks so much better than it did before.
Yep.
It turned out great. Compared to what it looked like, this is a huge improvement.
It's a little muddy, but the next few days it should dry out.
Yeah.
And we all should be happy down this road.
And we are so happy we were able to play a small part in helping with this situation, and big thanks to the county for jumping on it today. Listen, a lot of people out here tonight at our Help Me Hank meetup complaining about roads just like the one you just saw in that story all over this community. We're working with the state representative, the county, the local leaders. We hope to get everybody together to work on solutions, but we understand with the weather and the lack of crews available right now, it is challenging, but it's something that we're working to stay on top of. We're live here tonight in Belleville. Hank Winchester, Help Me Hank, back to you.
A group of southeastern Michigan leaders got together today to push for legislation protecting against water shutoffs. The group says low-income residents should be able to maintain service with monthly bills limited to no more than 3% of their income. They say new legislation would not only support residents, but also the municipal water systems that serve them. The legislation would establish a monthly user fee on residential bills similar to existing programs for utility customers. We'll keep you posted on how this bill fares in Lansing.
Okay, we had a pretty good amount of sunshine again today, and that's expected to stick around for a few more days.
But conditions, of course, are changing for tonight. Ron Hilliard is in for Kim Adams today. And Ron, some patchy fog is looking possible again tonight.
That is possible. And not everyone saw the fog last night and this morning, but we could see it. And with temperatures that are going to be below freezing overnight, that means that the droplets that comprise of the fog could settle on surfaces. And that would mean that we could see some black ice in some places. So make sure that you do allow extra time if you're going out tonight or tomorrow morning. The temperatures right now in most of the area above freezing, but we do have some cooler spots out there. 36 in Detroit, 35 in Ann Arbor, 34 for Port Huron. Monroe, we're at 37 degrees. Cloudy across the area, also seeing some fog developing, especially in areas around Lapeer right now. We have visibility down to 4 miles. We will see patchy fog developing in other parts of Metro Detroit as we go on into the nighttime hours. So this evening, temperatures are in the mid-30s in a lot of locations. We'll see them getting down to freezing around midnight in more locations. The patchy fog, though, that's the story for tonight. later this week, warm temperatures.
All right, Ron, thank you. After months of negotiation, senators released a bipartisan agreement on immigration.
The agreement holds $20 billion to address the crisis at the border. The bill would trigger a shutdown at the border if more than 5,000 migrants cross per day. It also expands a number of detention facilities. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer promises a vote this week, but Republicans in the House say not so fast. House Republicans say it's not enough, while their colleagues in the Senate say it's time to act now.
When we had a Republican House, Republican Senate, and President Trump as president, we weren't able to pass border security pieces.
The first vote on the bill is expected this week in the Senate. If it manages to pass, it will put pressure on Republican leaders in the House to bring it up for a vote. Those discussions on border funding come as the House gets ready to vote on the impeachment of Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. A vote is expected tomorrow. Mayorkas would be only the second cabinet secretary in U.S. history to be impeached. Republicans argue that impeachment hearings are needed due to record-high illegal border crossings. According to a GOP leader, the vote will likely come in the late afternoon sometime tomorrow.